Hello, welcome. My name is Mandy, and the first thing I want to do before I launch into what I'm going to talk about today, which is so important, if you're a creative person, if you're a woman, please listen to this message. And I'm going to start off with showing you my shorts. All right, these are my banana shorts. I just painted them with acrylic. I love them so much. Okay, the reason why I wanted to start off with showing you my shorts is because in this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of being authentically you. Yes, we hear it all the time, like just be yourself, be yourself. I am talking about something that is so needed right now, and it's so ironic because I'm going to be talking about the importance of play, wonder, imagination, creativity, and the fact that you need to get back to and connect to the child within you, and you need to do that thing that you freaking love to do, whatever it is for you. For me, it's like I couldn't wait to get up and paint my freaking banana shorts. And the irony is I'm starting to make good money from doing something that I love, as strange as it is. And I did not go on the internet and find someone else painting banana shorts. There was just this day where I went to Goodwill, I found these shorts, and then I picked up some bananas and was like, oh my God, what would happen if I painted bananas on my shorts? It was like just this download of creativity that made me so happy. And in a world of consumption and copying, and especially me that has been like, oh, I'll do that. Oh, if I do that, maybe then this will happen. It's like, no, get to the root of what makes you light up. And from that place, you'll be magnetic, you'll make freaking money, and you get to do that on repeat, okay? And the irony, now get this, the irony of this whole thing is that all last year, I had a part-time job as an art teacher in a school. And the reason why I got this job was not because I really wanted to. It was because I was like, you know what? I just feel like in order to what is the word? Down-regulate my freaking nervous system that has been on freaking fight or flight for so many decades, I just need to stop the entrepreneurship, not completely, but just go get a stable part-time position to give myself a wee bit of a break and an exhale. Especially being now in my 50s. I just wanted to just go do something where I could just be sure that a paycheck was coming in. And it felt like I was taking a step backward. But nonetheless, I got this position as an art teacher at this school, and I loved it. I mean, it was really beautiful. But what this teaching position showed me was, actually, I really like being an entrepreneur. I don't really like working for other people, as nice as the stable paycheck was. I actually still prefer being like an entrepreneur and living my life one day at a time, having to practice faith in God. And also it showed me how much we need creativity and play and wonder and imagination to not only come back into adults, but also, unfortunately, like to come back into children. And children should just be doing nothing but being in their imagination. And the thing I wanted to talk about that's ironic is I thought that I was going to be starting this school year as a part-time art teacher again. And to be honest, I wasn't really looking that forward to it, because what I really wanted to do, which is what I'm doing right now, which is being a full-time artist doing what I want to do, which is my own fashion line, coaching other creative people, and just producing art that I love every single day on my own schedule, my own time, living in my dream home, like just 4 minutes from the ocean. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. But prior to this, I was a part-time art teacher. I had signed a contract to teach this upcoming school year. And a few weeks before school was starting, they called me in. I thought they were just going to be talking about my contract or how the school year is going to be going or how many recess duties I was going to have to pick up. And instead, there was some people in the room, and I was like, okay, this is not about recess. Like, what's going on here? And I was like, I'm losing my job, aren't I? They decided, because they're going through some financial stuff and a financial crisis with the school right now, it's a private school, they were going to eliminate the entire art department. They weren't eliminating anything else, just art. And the thing that struck me the most was not necessarily, oh my God, I'm losing my job, oh my God, I'm losing my stable paycheck, because prior to having this part-time teaching position, I have been an entrepreneur for well over a decade and a half. And so I was very, very used to not having a stable paycheck. So I didn't have like this overwhelming, like, oh my God, I'm doomed. I have to go get another 9 to 5. I have to go get another stable paycheck. It was almost a little bit of relief, to be honest. But nonetheless, what did happen for me was I was like, but what about the kids? What about the children? Especially these kids that I have in my mind right now, like certain names of kids, I can see them and I'm like, this child in particular, this child is an artist, and this child needs a space where an actual artist knows how to nurture and support another artist. And what in the environment that I wanted to create and that I did create in my classroom was freedom of, I didn't want the kids to, and it was amazing to me how many kids would say, are we graded on this? Am I going to get a bad grade on this? And I'd be like, sweetheart, please, like, come into my classroom and I want you to feel free to express yourself. Connect to what you want to create right now. And let's not worry about the grade. What do you want to create? What colors are you feeling like you want to put down on the paper? And as long as you're trying, if I see that you're trying and you're not just, being a lazy bones in the back of the room and you're being disruptive and you're intentionally being bad, as long as you're trying and you're listening to the assignment. Like if I tell you, hey, today we're gonna paint some colorful ladybugs, and then you just feel like you're like, no, I want to go paint whatever I want. If you're being defiant, then that is going to affect your grade. But you're not like that, so don't worry about it. Just come in here and have fun, and let's have fun together. That was the environment that I wanted to create in my classroom, where the kids felt so free to be able to express their wonder and imagination. And it just killed my heart every single time to see a lot of these kids didn't even know how to access this. They're so growing up in a world of like, just tell me what to do. Just give me the plan. Just let me copy what that person is doing. Or I want it fast. Big chat going. I want to just get the answer now. You tell me what to do. And it's like, no, we're going to do a project and it's going to take a while, and that's okay, because you're going to tap into your imagination and you're going to create something from your own brain and your own heart, and you're going to be able to make beautiful things, because you can make beautiful things. And in one of my classes, I showed the documentary about Walt Disney, and I was like, he had something in his head. And there was a time when I was a little girl, or when my mom was a little girl, and like Mickey Mouse and Disney World and Elsa and all these things weren't even here. They just were inside of his mind, and out inside of his imagination, he created worlds and characters. And now we have these songs and Elsa. I'm like, imagine what you can do. All right. So this is a topic that I'm so unbelievably passionate about, because I see how much it's needed. I'm coaching this client right now, and we were talking this week about what she wants to focus on. And it's interesting that instead of like, oh, I need to focus more on the structure of my business or the metrics of my business, it was more like, I need to focus more on joy and play. And it's like, yes. And what I said to her was, it's the irony of this, the counterintuitive nature of this, is that the more that you focus on coming back to who you were as a kid, when you're just, that you're loved, you don't have like really a care in the world, and your imagination is like a volcano erupting out of you, and you make these worlds and you make these characters, and you think that you're Superman and you can do anything, and you get into these fantasy worlds. And it's like, the more that you can tap back into that place of play and joy and imagination, then everything else seems to fall into place. And of course, please hear me out, because I can just hear the protests and the keyboard warriors just like, well, you don't understand, and blah, 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 and that doesn't make any sense. And it's like, we obviously live in a world where we can't just play in a sandbox every single day. And I am like one of the hardest workers I've ever met in my entire life. I mean, I am very self-motivated. I start work right when I get up. I'm at the gym. I'm constantly like thinking about myself and being introspective and working. And so it's very important for me to balance the productivity and the work that I have to do and showing up for the structure of my business and creating content and value for you and for my clients, and producing, wearable art when people commission me to do things, which I just got commissioned to paint something for someone, and it's just incredible. But it's like learning the balance between incorporating play into your life, right? So if you have been feeling like maybe very heavy, you've been feeling uninspired, you've just been feeling chaotic, lonely, you've been feeling overwhelmed, you've been feeling directionless, maybe it's time to just pick up a coloring book and a blank canvas. Oh, I don't know how to paint. I don't know how to color. I'm not an artist. Stop. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I'm so tired of people saying I'm not an artist. You're a fucking artist. Every single fucking person. I'm telling you, I get so passionate about this. Every fucking person on this planet is an artist. Maybe you're not this person who can paint realistic looking animals. So don't. If that doesn't feel good to you, don't. But if you want to paint abstract patterns, or if you want to write a poem, if you want to create something with wood, if you want to get back to cooking and culinary stuff, if you want to try on amazing clothes and get back to fashion, if you want to create choreography and a dance, you're a freaking artist. Get back to your roots and to what you were created to do, which is create. The creator created you to create. All right. So if you've been endlessly scrolling, comparing, watching what everyone else is doing, saving things, but then not actually doing the knitting project or the sewing project because you feel like you can't do it. Do you know how I created my website? Do you know how I created my business? Do you know how I created songs on Spotify? Do you know how I created writing songs and stickers? I fucking figured it out on my own. I did. I figured it out. I made mistakes. I printed things that were backwards and didn't look that great. And then I was like, okay, I need to tweak this. I figured out how to do these things through my own imagination. Do you know the confidence that builds? It builds so much confidence. And you have to be willing to make 1,000 mistakes, but give yourself the gift to understand that no one's coming here to save you but yourself. Your little child artist wants to come in with a cape and say, hello, remember me? Do you remember me when we used to play? Remember when we just felt limitless? We're living in a limitless world. And as adults, we grow up and we place these limits. It's like we're magnets, and all these limiting beliefs get sucked onto us, and then we grasp onto them. And then our reticular activating system, this is why I teach on mindset and neuroscience in my coaching, because if you don't understand how the brain operates, and you don't understand how the reticular operating system works, and you don't understand how with neuroscience you can literally change your fucking life and change your mindset and change your patterns. I'm living proof of this. If you've watched any of my other videos, binge watch them today and listen to my story of severe addiction, severe bulimia, severe living paycheck to paycheck, severe fucking self-doubt. I'm 50, and it has taken me this long to finally get it. And I have gone through hell and back, but all of it has helped me to forge the way for me to remember and re-remember that I'm fucking powerful, and that I have the ability to actually change my thinking and take those limiting beliefs off and come back to my natural design, which is a child of God. Notice I said child. The children are the ones that get to enter into the kingdom. And that doesn't mean that if you're not 80, you can't. It means come back to a childlike spirit, humble, childlike, learning how to receive with gratitude. Gratitude. That's a word. I just made it up. All right. So I'm going to talk today about why it is so important to get back to creativity, to get back to joy, to get back to imagination. All right. So in my method, this is my methodology that I walk my coaching clients through, and it is called my C.R.E.A.T.E method, because I'm an artist and I love everything that has to do with art and creation. So it's the C.R.E.A.T.E method, and it's an acronym. And the C part of C.R.E.A.T.E, the first letter, it stands for connect. So we need to connect back. We need to connect back to ourselves, connect back to this moment and the truth of this moment. Whatever it might be, have the courage to connect to the truth of this moment. Wow, I'm not happy. Wow, my life's fucking unmanageable. Wow, da 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 da. Connect back to the truth. Connect to God. Connect to yourself. Connect to your emotions. Connect to your feelings. Connect, 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 connect. All right? So it's difficult to hear your own creative voice if we're constantly disconnected, addicted. The opposite of addiction is connection. So get connected. You don't have to focus on the addiction. Just focus on connection. Take your eyes off of the problem and put it onto the solution. I'm gonna wait till this truck goes by. It's apparently a very busy truck day. It's a yellow truck. Matched really well with my banana shorts. Okay. So if you're noticing yourself, okay, and I totally have been, I can be guilty of doing this, looking at what other artists, creators, coaches, people are doing, consuming things instead of just like there's a difference between like going on the internet to look for inspiration, and then there's a difference between just consuming and not actually getting out there and creating something unique from your own being and your own soul. Or like comparing or thinking like, oh my God, that person did that, I should do that. I've so been guilty of this. Oh my God, she tried this, I should do that. No, just slow it down. All right. So banana shorts. I want to tell you the little banana shorts story. Okay. So like I said, I lost my job like a month and a half ago, I think it was, that they told me the news. They told me not to say anything. They were going to announce it to the families like a month later. So I was like, wow, that doesn't quite feel right. And I sat with it for a while, and I just was like, okay, God, where are we going with this? Where are we going? What are we doing? I'm like, I'm so passionate about creativity. This isn't about me. This isn't about my job per se. This is about creativity. And at the time, I was leading a group of people through the book called The Artist's Way. And it's a book about recovering your creativity. And I saw in that group just how important creativity is and connecting with yourself. And so I started to just say, you know what? Everything I've learned up to this point is showing me that I'm absolutely someone who's creative. I've lived a life of creativity. My whole life is my masterpiece of art. And it's all about how creativity has literally saved my life. When I stopped drinking in 2006 and I stopped binging and purging my food, and I started healing from addiction, and I started healing from this eating disorder and self-doubt and like all these things, I started connecting back to God, to myself, to the truth, to my feelings, to my voice, and to creativity. And every single time I've ever gone through anything difficult, which have been a lot of things, whether it's heartbreak or not getting something that I really wanted, or just seeing myself operate in ways that just perplex me, like, why would I keep trying to get the attention of a man that is not really seeming like he likes me? Anytime I ever found myself doing something like that, I would get creative. Instead of feeling disempowered or feeling like I had no ability to do anything about these things, I don't like that feeling of hopelessness. I don't think you do either. I don't think anybody does. And we're never hopeless. There's always a solution. There's always a way out, and we can use our own creativity. So I would write a song about it. I would paint a painting about it. I would make something. And then I would be, even if it was just go out and go for a hike, like go create a body that feels good about myself, go create a really good meal, go for a hike, listen to a really good podcast, and create new neural pathways. Anytime you get into the driver's seat of creation, you're moving yourself further and further away from the disempowerment or the feeling of victim mentality, or embedding that limiting belief even further. So I'll give you an example of how I created instead of giving into a limiting belief. So there was this gentleman, this is probably about 3 years ago, I was so attracted to him. It was unbelievable. I didn't really know much about him, so I used to have the tendency to assign magical qualities to men, even though I didn't know them. And I was like, apparently, like, I just really liked him, even though I didn't really know him. And I felt so extremely confused about where I stood with this guy, because we had sort of gone on, I think you could call them dates. I don't know. We spent some time together, but like there was minimal communication. I couldn't get a good read on what was going on. And there was this one day where we had spent a significant amount of time with each other. We were coming upon the evening. He had laid a blanket out. We were under the night sky and we were just laying there peacefully. And it just seemed like if this was a movie, this would have been the perfect moment for him to like at least lean over and hold my hand or kiss me gently, maybe, but nothing. And I remember just being so much in my head and just being like, what is wrong with me? Like, why don't guys like me? Like, why is he not making a move? And he said to me, what are you thinking? And I was like, well, I'm wondering why you're not trying to kiss me. And he literally didn't do anything. He didn't move. He didn't say anything. There was like an awkward, dead silence for a long time. And I remember feeling sick to my stomach. And I remember just every single thought that I had had for decades prior to this moment was coming in so strong. And it was like a football stadium of people screaming at me and saying, see, you're a piece of shit. No men like you. You are ugly as fuck. And here's one more bit of proof that your reticular activating system is looking for and is now going to glom onto and put in the category of nobody ever asks you out, especially good looking men. They don't like you. And it was really awful. I felt like shit. And so after this awkward silence, I was like, well, what are you thinking? And then he was like, well, I'm thinking thoughts. And I was like, wow, okay. And I just said, you know what? I'm gonna go home now. I feel really silly. I feel really stupid right now. And I'm gonna go home. And so I went home. I didn't hear from him, no text messages, no reassurance, no like nothing. And trust me, I checked to see if at least he would have been like, hey, I like you. Hey, I really wanted to kiss you, but I was afraid. Nothing. And instead of that moment, it was a very pivotal moment for me. That could have been a what's the opposite of creation? Destruction. Yeah, that could have been a destruction moment for me. And I had so many destruction moments prior to this that I looked at as destruction moments when they weren't. But I didn't know how to work with my reticular operating system. I didn't know how to work with neuroscience. I didn't know how to work with mindset stuff at the time. So for decades, I fucked myself with creating stories and repeating those stories to myself and narratives that were actually never true, and then living out what I thought was true, and then self-sabotaging myself for years. I'm 50. I've never been married. It's because I stayed stuck in these patterns for so long, and it is more painful than I can even describe to you. And the reason why I want to make this video is because I don't want you to go through any of that. I don't want you to. Listen to what I'm saying. In this moment, instead of latching on to his apparent distaste of me, disgust of me, men don't like me. Here's another example, a billion of them in a row. The guy before that ghosted me. Like, instead, I had a creation moment, and I chose to create. And I said, God, help me to see from your perspective, from your heavenly perspective. Oh, I'm a child of God. I'm loved and fearfully, wonderfully made. And I started to write truth out. And I started to combat those voices and was like, you know what? I don't know the story. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't like me. Maybe he does. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's not it's not any kind of information to tell me that I'm valuable or worthy or anything. He doesn't get to dictate that. And I made a song about it. I wrote a poem about it. I wrote a prayer about it, and I made art about it. And I was able to take something that would have destroyed me and would have kept this kind of narrative going, and I was able to turn it around. And now today I'm like, thank you, God that that man did not kiss me. Thank you, God, that that man did not text me and say, I like you. Thank you, God, that I didn't hear a single thing from him. Because the more I sort of got to know him, the more I was like, wait, we're not even compatible. This is not even a guy that I like actually would want to be with. I'm just looking at him as the symbol of where I would place my value. And no man and no job and no one can do that. No one can do that for you. But boy, as sure as hell do we do that sometimes. So this became a huge moment for me to use my creativity to literally create new neural pathways and a new identity in me. And now I see this guy all the time, and not all the time, but I see him out and about, and I'm like, hey, I genuinely am like, how are you? I hope you're well. I think he's dating someone. I'm happy for him. And I don't feel that feeling of, oh gosh, if he were to like me, then I would finally be somebody. Like, if we were meant to be together, we would. And I'm glad that we just, I don't know, we met, and then he went on his path and I went on mine. So, yeah. So what I love about coming back to play and creativity is I lose my job, right? I haven't gone on one single interview. I'm not interested. I don't have a job. I have a calling. I have a calling on my life, and callings come into my life, and I follow the call of God. And so I'm painting banana shorts, and since I lost my job, I've actually made more money as a coach and as a full-time artist than I did when I was a art teacher. And I made more money in a week than I made 2 weeks as an art teacher. I made more money in this 1 week, and doing it with being able to wake up in the morning, first thing, I journal, I go to the gym, I come home, I create content, I make videos that I love to make, I coach clients that I love to coach, I eat beautiful meals that I have time to be able to actually cook really good meals for myself. I go for a walk every single day. I'm so tanned right now because I have moved right next to the beach. I'm literally living in my vision board right now. Like, this is what my vision board looked like. I'm living in the cutest freaking little house right on the beach in Hawaii. It blows my mind almost to the point where I like get really emotional when I think about it. And I say that because all of the inner work that I have done has gotten me here where I can trust and say, you know what? The more I actually connect back to the authentic me and my creativity and what I love to do, and know that that is also what God wants for me too, the more magnetic I am, the more people want to pay me money, and they just want to throw money at me and support me. And I mean, someone just today was like, oh, hey, you know what? I really would love to buy you a tattoo stencil machine. I'm like, oh, okay. Because they really want me to start tattooing again. And I'm like, you know what? That might be something I might be interested in, is start tattooing again. We'll see. But just people want to support people who are truly living in their God-given calling. And I say this with humility. I don't say this like, oh, I'm fucking awesome. I say, God, thank you for making me a creative person that loves to paint bananas on her shorts, and that's quirky and colorful and vibrant and alive. And I'm very, very grateful, God. Help me to just live as the person you created me to be, instead of incessantly trying to chase being like someone else, because I have tried to be someone other than I am for so long, trying so hard to the detriment of my own health in really bad ways, to try to get people to love me, and to try to, I'm gonna delete that call, and to try to just, be anything but me. And the more I come back to me, the more life just, it kind of like is like, yay, she's finally coming back to who she really is. Right? So what I want to say is, create before you consume. Like, try really hard to like get off the phone and stop scrolling. Like, just allow yourself to be bored. I really think that boredom, although it's interesting because my sister, she's a really creative person too, and her handle on social media has never been bored. And yeah, because when I was growing up, like, my parents loaded our playroom with so many coloring books and crayons and markers and Play-Doh and crafts, and we really weren't allowed to watch television or play video games or anything. And I'm so grateful for that upbringing, because we basically played out in the woods, because I grew up in northern New Hampshire, and we made forts and tents and snowmen, and we played with Play-Doh, and we were tapped into our imagination constantly, going camping and making sandcastles, and we didn't have any technology. And so try really hard to get off technology as much as you can. And I know it's difficult. I mean, I'm on technology every single day. So just get back into nature and connect back to just look at the beauty and the patterns and the art in all around us, the rainbows, the trees, the birds, scales on fish, different feathers on birds. Like, there's so much creativity in the world. Look at conch shells and like their beautiful mathematical intelligence, and the way that there seems to be this intelligent math that goes into art. I mean, there is. So allow yourself to be bored and just get out there, because we can actually create the space for imagination in the boredom, because we don't always have to be like productive. And follow curiosity instead of always being logical and practical. Of course, hear me out. I'm not saying don't be logical and don't be practical. There's a time and a space for everything. And if you're really smart and discerning and you ask God for higher wisdom, God will show you when it's time to be practical and logical, and when it's time to actually go back to follow curiosity. I don't know. Is this thing going to make me money? I have had this thing where it's like I have to monetize everything. And it's like, well, how about you just have fun painting banana shorts? I don't know. Maybe if I paint banana shorts, someone will reach out to me and they'll want me to paint avocado jeans. Great. Amazing. But the cool thing is I painted these because I felt so inspired and so much joy painting them. And I did it for free, because what is the thing that you would want to do every single day, even if you never got paid to do it? And then imagine if you could get paid handsomely doing that thing that you love to do. I was very much face and body painting back in 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I mean, I got to the point where my face and body paintings got on the cover of a magazine. I was asked to teach at a convention. I was asked to go on a television show. And this all came from just loving face and body painting so much. I stumbled upon it when I was like 30 something. And I loved it so much that I spent hours and hours and hours transforming my body in my room by myself, body painting, for no other reason other than that's all I wanted to do. And then I would post it on YouTube. Unfortunately, I've deleted every single one of those videos since then, which is a whole other story as to why I used to do things like that, which is so freaking sad. Anyway, I used to do that because I wanted to, but then eventually it gave me the ability to make a ton of money. I just made $600 face painting a couple weeks ago, and it was like, how am I making this much money face painting? Like, I'm getting a lot of phone calls right now. I like love doing this. It doesn't even feel like I'm working, right? So what would be the thing that you would love to do that doesn't feel like work, but then you would get paid really well to do it? All right. So here's what I want you to do this week. Okay. I want you to not ask these questions. I want you to ask don't ask like, oh, what will people think? Is this going to work? Will I make money off of this? Instead, just say, do I want to do this? Follow some creative impulse this week. And if you don't have anything, if you're like, well, I don't have anything, then I don't know, we can pop on a call. We can talk about that. Get bored. Go out in nature. A lot of people, even myself included, can have the most inspiring, zany, wacky, crazy, creative ideas come in the shower when I'm not trying. The thing about creativity is it's more about listening than forcing. We don't want to force it. We want to let it come because it's coming from something higher. This is why the Artist's Way book, the group that I was leading people through, the Artist's Way, it's all about co-creating with God. It's a creativity, it's a spiritual thing, okay? We want to listen for a download, and then you become the conduit and you become the channel to bring that idea out into the world and to manifest it. And it's going to do something for the world. It's going to inspire, heal, teach, motivate. This is bring beauty, bring order, bring harmony. This is what art should do. Art should be elevating the planet, elevating you, elevating the planet, okay? So here's some questions for you. What have you secretly been wanting to make and explore, but you keep talking yourself out of it. You think it's not practical. You think there's not enough time for it. There's time for it. There's actually, it's imperative. It's necessary. Creativity is necessary in schools. It's not like an elective. Creativity needs to be in the school, okay? Creativity needs to be in your life, all right? So, yeah, I think that's about all because we're getting on like 30 minutes here. I'm a talker. Anybody that knows me knows that I love to talk. Create something because there is something inside of you that wants to come out. I'm telling you, I don't care who you are. Yes, I'm talking to you. You are an artist, okay? So if you've been feeling a little bit disconnected from your creativity, I created a creative identity reset. Yay! It's a free workbook. It's in the description box. This is going to help you to get reconnected back to that creative identity, okay? So it's a 7-day reset. So you're going to look at this every day for 7 days and you're going to reset your creative identity. It's a really amazing workbook. It's completely free. It's my gift to you. So go in the description box, download that. And if you want to go deeper into this creative work, okay, if you want to create a life that you're completely obsessed with, then you can book a call with me. You'll fill out the application. It's in the description box below, and then we can see for a good fit, and then we can go through the CR.E.A.T.E method together. I would be honored to walk you through that. And let's see, I think that is about it. So yeah, you're amazing. You're an artist. You're a creator, and I want to see what you create because the world's going to be a better place when you are doing your banana shorts thing. The banana shorts thing, that's me. What is your banana shorts thing? You have a banana shorts thing, okay? I love you, and then come back to see another video soon. Bye. Mwah.